House of the Dragon, episode 7 of 8. We have more HBO time wasting, more bullshit, more Rhaenyra character assassination, and more Allison, lingering shots. No one cares. We got this cool shot, but, why are they meeting on the beach? These two good guys plotting. That could be interesting. Not telling Aemond. Larry's up to something. They're like, maybe we don't tell him about the dragon. This thing's weird. I don't think this is how it is in the books. I doubt there's this political revolution in Rhaenyra's mind going on of, the small folk rising and giving her power. Maybe there is, correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like this is a bit of a reach from the writers and just a little too forced, kind of like her relationship with Mysaria last episode, which they haven't even touched or addressed, no pun intended, this episode at all. But this whole thing of the order of things has changed. Not really. If anything, I'm pretty sure it's from the Maesters and people Otto Hightower trying to wrestle power away from the Targaryens, which this, will ultimately do. Anyway, I just thought this was kind of weird. But this part was badass. Let us raise an army of bastards. That's more along the lines of Rhaenyra. Not this unsure thing. This season is just weird. I understand what they're trying to do, but it also just leads to a lot more time wasting, which is the HBO special. Even though we have 8 episodes, there's still so much time wasting this season. It's crazy. Anyway, this part was cool. Speaking of time wasting, we have Daemon. This part was actually all right. I like this interaction, but again, it's just sort of more of nothing, or just proof. This could have been 4 episodes ago. This could have been in the 3rd episode, instead of these constant daydreams from Daemon. And then there's this guy who's obviously going to die. They really make it obvious, and he's just being so snooty and everything, even when he's being seized and about to be beheaded. The only interesting thing is potential ramifications from this, from his house in the Riverlands, but I don't know, we'll see. And then this face of Daemon is just funny, Then it's this kind of cool scene, but yet another one of a dream sequence of Daemon and Harrenhal. This could have been, if this was the only one, or one of this 2 maybe. But they wanted to bring back this guy Viserys. They wanted to bring back young Rhaenyra, and okay, you did that. You don't have to keep doing it over and over again. This is the 3rd or 4th scene of him in it, and yeah, he was great in the first season, but let it go. I mean, come on. This, although I will say this was a particular favorite scene of mine, still. And here he looks like the guy from Aladdin when Jafar dresses up as the "Give me the lamp" Cave of Wonders guy. Anyway, then we have the king doing physical therapy, basically, with the maester. I don't understand why this would be done in secret. Obviously, the king was badly injured and is, hurt and invalid. So, him training to get better, I guess, besides Aemond discovering. And I guess that's what they're leading towards. Larry's saying it'll be long before he may rest again. It almost seems like he has empathy with him, but at the same time, I feel like he's really just trying to save his own butt, and he knows that his place is much more secure with Aegon, and that Aemond does not trust him at all, and, rightfully so. And then we have this other, I'm guessing now, next Dragon Rider, she's getting kicked out. Brilliant casting. I totally believe her as the queen of a fantasy kingdom in the mountains. Definitely believe it. But then she just runs off. Her caravan's going, and she just runs off into the fields, doesn't tell them she's leaving or where she's going. She quickly finds this. I assume she's gonna find the dragon, I guess, sheep stealer, and claim that dragon. Cool. A bit on the nose, HBO, once again, but whatever. I really like the scene. It really shows how the whole Harwin Strong thing has affected his identity. And when he turns it around and sort of admits that being a dragon rider, really he felt like it validated him, and now opening it up and then he thought that other noble people would be okay because they're also nobility, but now just opening up to random people makes him feel like he's, just some random person, sort of a bastard. And I thought that was a good touch. The proof is here for all to see. Yeah, I thought that was a really good scene and well done, until we get this reaction. And again, they make Rhaenyra seem like such a wishy-washy person. And she's like, I miss all of this. I don't know, just very weird and a weak response. I feel like that does not feel like what her character would do. Then Saria sends this note and a message, and we get the Handmaid's Tale hoodie girl over here. She's spreading the word that they're looking for Targaryens. This part was also great. My favorite. This guy talking all this shit, and then suddenly he pretty much gets called out because they're looking for Targaryens. I also really don't believe the whole city would be like, oh, cool, they're looking for Targaryens. Great. I feel like they'd be much more apprehensive and starving. I don't think they're still living off the rations that was sent over by Rhaenyra. But anyway, this guy, he's like, oh, great. Yeah. And they're like, oof, the Dragon Lord. Hilarious. He gets called out. This other guy too, much more, stern and boring. But I think this was actually a really great writing part to include both of these guys and their stories beforehand throughout the season, introduce us to them. Then we actually know who they are, and now it's revealed that they're actually going to have a higher purpose. More awkwardness with Rhaenyra leading. These dragon guys with the sticks are like, oh, we're not going to do this. I don't know, kind of weird. She just makes a lot of these kind of faces, really unsure, like she's a salesman. I don't know, weird vibes. I guess they're trying to say that she was like a cult leader, literally trying to sell them at this point. But kind of came off as weird. Not as weird as this. What the CW is this shit? No one wants to see this. Nobody cares that she's having an existential crisis because, the whole leopards ate her face thing, or, because the consequences of her actions are eating her up now. It's crazy. Nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see her floating in a pond. More time wasting. Come on. Ridiculous. Then Rhaenyra, she's like, yeah, here's a badass dragon. I'm a badass too. And if you want to be badass, step up. This guy's like, you know what? I've been underestimated. I knew this guy was dead right away. I knew he was dead. Then I wasn't sure for a split second, but Rhaenyra's like, cool, you get it. Okay, you got all the instructions, peace. This dude's like, wait, what? And then Rhaenyra's just like, oh, I'm just going to watch from up here. Looks all good from up here. This dragon's like, okay, I'm just going to eat everybody here then, or just serving up as a buffet. For a split second, I thought this dude maybe might make some sort of connection. No, burned. All of them burned, done. That's just what it is. This guy's like, oh shit, what the hell am I going to get myself into? My wife, I should have listened to my wife. I see this girl, I'm like, oh, she's dead for sure. But he saves her. And then he's like, I'm a dragon too. And the dragon's like, oh, you're actually pretty cool. And Rhaenyra's like, okay, whew, glad that was actually worth it. But again, it's like, I was really worried they were going to make another scene of her being like, oh my goodness, how could you have done this? And you're so incompetent, blah, 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 whatever. And I love this Bilbo Baggins guy. This is really the best ending. And I kind of suspected this was going to happen, but then I thought he also might just die. So when it turns out that he can ride the dragon, did they have a harness on this whole time, or how did they get the harness on? And he just jumps on. Anyway, he's cruising around King's Landing, say what's up to the homies. Then of course, Aemond has to jump on his big dragon, Big Bertha, and be like, nah, I got the big boy. Now, but then he gets spooked by something. He turns Vhagar around. And, whoa, what's going on? And apparently, from all that long way away, he could see. Well, the dragons, I assume he could see. But then there's Rhaenyra, who's just standing on her own. You've kind of ruined the element of surprise. Why not? Why wouldn't they all just attack at once? You clearly could have even all just attacked, King's Landing, or all just attacked Vagar the dragon, themselves, and just like tried to fight him before Aemon could get there and, pilot him away or whatever. I don't know, like, or lured him into a trap. Like, as he's running over, you're like, well, okay, let's swoop him out of the sky once he runs over on his horse to get to Vagar. Like, just seems like he ruined it it really makes no strategic sense to do this. So anyway, more time wasting. One more episode left. Let's see what happens.